Spin it again.
It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. It belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
You know what? I've heard people call, and I kind of like the era that we're in, the post-truth kind of era.
And lately, there's been a lot of coverage in the real news about the growing and booming business of creating fake news.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was watching CNN fake news. What do you think?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Let us return to the fight. This battle is far from over.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Real News. Shine, buddy. I see my face on his intro with that big old bushy beard of mine, and I miss it sometimes, man. From time to time, I miss the beard, the growth off the face. I don't know what to do about it, man. But it's Monday. We're starting a new week. We're starting a new.
I'm glad it's back, man. I miss the beard.
Yeah.
Like I've always been all about the beard, especially when you like combed it and put that stuff in it. You'd shape it. You man shaper.
Yeah, always man shaper. That's right. How's it going, everybody? My name is Mr. Henry. David Chan Thompson sitting to my left. Possibly y'all's right. Doesn't matter. Oh, it's right on the Facebook too. See, that's what I'm saying, Chan. I don't know what they're.
You could just say sitting next to me. Sitting
next to me. That's what it is. Hey, greatest audience in the nation appreciation segment right now. I got a little cool one here pulled up, Sean. In particular, let's see, out here in the Nashville area, talking about greatest audience in the nation appreciation segment. If you don't know what the segment is, let us know what you're thankful for, what you're appreciative of, what you're struggling with, what you need help with, what you need encouragement with, what you need prayer for. I don't know, any of that stuff. If you have praise or prayers or concerns or any of those things, any of that stuff going around, put it in the comment section. We'll read it out to the audience. We'll all celebrate together. If you need help for something, put it in the comment section. We'll all help each other together. That's why we do this program, is to build a community like this, build it strong for everybody else. One I found here in particular, coming from the Tennessean, buddy, nearly 400 COVID-19 relief kits were given away yesterday at the Community Resource Center here in Nashville. Thought this was a really cool story. The kits include the courtesy of Frist Foundation. They include, run-of-the-mill stuff, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, personal hygiene items, stuff like that. But the Community Resource Center, they delivered the kits, one per family, through a touchless drive-through. The recipient must show, they showed obviously valid Davidson County photo ID and stuff. But I thought that was a cool story, man, of just people helping people, community helping community, trying to get through some stuff. We had some storms here yesterday, man, too. So some power lines got knocked down, some trees got knocked over. So tell us what you're needing help with, what you're struggling with. Sean, by the way, how are you doing over in your end out there in the east area, buddy? You doing all right this morning? Yeah.
If I can get my microphone to turn on, there we go. I'm doing well this morning. Thanks for asking. I had a good weekend. It was very relaxing. I try to pull back a little on the weekend, especially like last week was really busy for you and I with work and the show and with the Facebook page and all that stuff. And so I pulled back a little bit and relaxed this weekend. Didn't get to play another installment of the Jordan Peterson lectures. Might do that in the middle of the week sometime. It's kind of lower on the priority list, even though I do like exposing our audience to that, and I'm going to keep going through that lecture series. I think there's overall 14 of them, so it'll be a while before we pick another kind of intellectual side topic for real news. But I'm doing well. Also want to mention, you can see down in the scroll below us, I have new information in there. I'm starting to put like Knoxville weather in there, so make sure you can check that out. I put in there tonight because there's supposed to be some bad thunderstorms for, over where you're at and where we are, Mr. Henry. And it's because there's some cooler temperatures moving in, mixing in with that warmer air we've had over the past week or so. So look forward to more Tennessee thunderstorms. Also going to be keeping, and I may add your numbers over there where you live, Mr. Henry, but I have the Knox County COVID data in the scroll as well, like how many confirmed cases and how many people have recovered, which I think at the moment, you'll have to see it on the screen. I think we've only had 236 confirmed cases here in Knox County.
Gotcha.
And I thought as we're moving forward and we're talking about we're talking about opening up in lots of these states, including the great state of Tennessee is thinking about, or where, it is opening up basically. And as we're doing that, it's good to see that the numbers, we still only have 236 confirmed cases in Knox County. And I don't know if you saw the article I posted over the weekend. We don't have to get into it, but I'll just reference it by saying people are basically not locking down anymore anyway, and the cell phone data is showing that.
Oh, right. That's in the show notes, actually, yeah.
So even with that, we don't have this huge influx of people going to the hospital or confirmed cases or anything like that. So, but even still, not to mock it or anything, I'm going to be keeping those numbers in the scroll so you can see that. But anyway, Mr. Henry, back to you.
Yeah, man. By the way, I just want to say shout out to the people we have on Facebook right now. John's in there, Steve is in there, Albert Bernard, Citizen's in there, Judy's in there, Kelly's in there, Bob's in there. Good morning to all of them as well. Let's get started the program this morning. We got a big one coming up here, obviously. Let's see. You just heard my boy David Sean Thompson talk about this. The numbers over there in the Knoxville area, numbers across the state are as follows as of Sunday. Anyways, state is reporting 13,177 confirmed cases of coronavirus right now. Tennessee Department of Health announced Sunday that the coronavirus cases across the state had reached that number, 13,177, an increase of 516 apparently from Saturday. Now, of those infections, they say 210 deaths is what they were looking at in the past, with one new death, rather, in the past 24 hours. Let's see. Department reported that 1,135 people have been hospitalized. 5,814 people have recovered. Over the last day, 96 Tennesseans had recovered. Nashville, in particular, have 151 additional cases on Sunday. And Nashville Mayor John Cooper's office on Saturday announced 151 additional cases. Just a couple of number updates there. Sean, and I found this really interesting story as I was studying stuff, researching for this show over the weekend here. I'm wondering, man, so y'all just watch this video that I'm pulling up here in just a second and see if you can help me. This shouldn't be surprising. The headline that I'm about to read is coming from WKRN. It's a Nashville affiliate here. The headline is Nashville residents travel to other counties to shop and eat. Nashville residents travel to other counties to shop and eat. And again, it shouldn't be something that's super surprising to anybody, but to me, it just kind of strikes that question of the what you put in the show notes, or actually you posted on the Real News Facebook page there, man. I put it in the show notes today, indicating that the headlines from Forbes.com indicating that Apple data shows that shelter in place is ending, whether the government wants it to or not. Frankly speaking, buddy, I think people are just kind of fed up. And I'm not saying like fed up to the extent of like go protest your government fed up necessarily. Fed up to the extent of just like they just can't handle it anymore. This is not a partisan thing. Be clear with that. I have to be very clear with that. I actually saw over the weekend, I'll pull this picture up here in a second just to give some indication, in Pier 45 in New York City. Pier 45 New York City is this place where a lot of people like to go and gather, and that's exactly what they did over the weekend. It's just
like what it sounds like. It's like saying the River Walk or something
that's
like
exactly
that.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did over the weekend. There was hundreds of individuals out here, and there was passerbys, primarily on bicycles, I suppose, that were taking pictures of these people just hanging out. Just absolutely. And so it's not a Democrat-Republican thing. It's not just Republican states that are going out there to protest or show up at government buildings with their AR-15s.
I think there were, I think it was like 25 or 3,000 people at a beach in California, in Southern California, doing a protest, wanting to surf. Like there were surfers out there. So this isn't just like militia people or something like that. The news has done a terrible job saying like everyone who is out there protesting to open their economy are, I don't know, like crazy rednecks with automatic rifles or something like that. Like this is everybody. Everybody's doing it. In almost every state. In almost every state, there's thousands of people coming out, whether they're Republican, Democrat, North, South, East, West. You know, it doesn't seem to matter. Kind of like the virus. It's not partisan. It doesn't discriminate, right?
By the way, Norm said in Facebook, watching on YouTube, a little bit easier to watch there while working. Yeah, by the way, if you didn't realize that, quick aside, thanks to Shine's beautiful work in the back end here, we are broadcasting on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, a couple places all at the same time. So definitely want to check out realnewsradio.live. That's realnewsradio.live. That is a direct link. It's like a hub, like a Netflix of real news stuff, if you will, to find all the places we're streaming on. It has some merch out there for sale, some coffee cups, some t-shirts. We're going to be putting some more merch up there soon. Yeah, go to realnewsradio.live. Check all that out. By the way, here's the video that I'm talking about so we can get on topic here. Hang on just a second. Here we go. All right. Watch this video with me. Tell me your opinions. Tell me what you think. I don't think it should be too surprising, but the inevitable question follows. Okay, so if the city of Nashville is doing one thing in particular to try and cut down on people traveling around, how much does that necessarily matter if Nashville residents are just going to surrounding counties? Here, check this out. And mute.
Mayor's orders, they reign supreme. Social distancing guidelines have not been lifted as the Music City waits for the COVID-19 curve to flatten. But Nashvillians got a little relief from the indoors today. News 2 Stassi almost explains that many new found homebodies, well, they shopped and dined out, traveling out of town to get their social fix.
Right now, there isn't much open in Davidson, so that's why we're here.
We knew we'd come out here, get a fresh air, get a breath of fresh air, and just be out and enjoy the scene.
It's a beautiful Saturday, perfect for a meal on the patio or strolling shops, but not in Nashville just yet.
We live in Green Hills, and we're out meeting some friends, and we're going to have dinner here at Connor's.
We just want to get out, and she actually had death in her family. Her grandmother passed, so she wanted to come out and try to find something to wear to the funeral. So we knew that Williamson County was the only place that we could come.
COVID-19 quarantine has been a hard time on many people.
I was furloughed for 3 months as well, so I've really been home.
It's simple pleasures, such as window shopping or having someone else refill your drink, that make a drive down the interstate worth it.
To be able to sit and eat somewhere other than our own dinner table. And just be waited on, not have to do the dishes afterward.
Many say they're not worried.
All right, and that right there, man, I think kind of encompasses the entirety of what's happening with a lot of people, right? To be waited on, and to not have to clean dishes afterwards. I mean, just simple life comforts, frankly, that in America people have now completely taken for granted, or at least took for granted previously. Have just been the ability to casually go out to a restaurant. That's the point of frustration that people are left with right now. All right, that's to the point of where people are. Is I'm so frustrated. I'm so cooped up here. The guy says he's been furloughed for 3 months. I've been literally at home for 3 months now that I'm willing to risk everything just so I don't have to clean dishes anymore. Right, and I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. I'm not even trying to make an assessment on that.
This is America. You can even know this is America. If you have the money and you have a desire, and someone can fulfill that desire and provide that value, then you go do it. Right? I mean, that's what we want you to do. We want people to go out there and take advantage of little creature comforts in order to get their neighbors some of that value that they're holding on to, and grease those wheels of commerce. That's what you want. And I don't know, I thought of one of my grandmothers. I won't say which one because I'm pretty sure both of them watch this, but one of them doesn't like to cook. You know, she cooked all growing up for the kids and the grandkids, and now she's retired, and they literally went out to eat like 6 days a week. And it's because she doesn't like doing the dishes and keeping up with leftover, because she doesn't have to. They made some pretty good money over the course of their life and saved and all that kind of stuff. And I know that that's probably something she's been wanting to do, is to go out with her husband and with her grandkids if she can, and do that thing they normally do. That's the way a lot of people, if they don't have the Sunday dinner at the house or whatever, a lot of families get together and go out to eat together. And they do that so that for the reasons you just mentioned, because they don't want to spend 35 minutes or 40 minutes scraping all the stuff off the pans and cleaning the dishes and stuff like that. They just want to focus on hanging out with each other. And I think that's wonderful. And I think that it's interesting, though. I'm glad you played that video, because that brought up a whole nother wrinkle I didn't think about. People driving to other counties.
Yeah, right? I
know.
To
spend the money to hang out with people. I mean, I was fortunate enough. I went out over the weekend. I went to a park, though, because they opened up the parks. And I had a great time walking around Imes Nature Center here in Knoxville. But I didn't think about, like, if I lived in a place where the parks weren't open or businesses weren't open, like driving over there. Because I live in a place where things are open and there's lots of stuff to do. So that's interesting. Very interesting wrinkle there, Mr. Henry.
Well, it does bring up an entirely different topic of conversation as well. Obviously, you're seeing this headline right now from Forbes. Apple data shows the shelter in place is ending whether government wants it to or not. And again, this is not a partisan thing as far as I'm concerned. Now, it seems to be developing as a partisan thing. And it's an interesting way to tie in quickly to a very quickly tie into the story that we brought up last week here about bailing out states. This is somehow becoming a Democrat-Republican thing when really it's just a bad financial decision as opposed to good financial decision thing. It doesn't have to do with Democrat or Republican. It just so happens that most of the time Republicans-led states have balanced budget amendments while Democrat-led states do not. It just so happens that most of the time the social